forgive 50 racks of it. But I need that sack. That a back amount doesn't matter because we can't give you 100%. They want 100% forgiveness. That's what they asked VP Harris for. We'll vote for you for president, but we want child support forgiveness. Now, so this is my counter proposal for the VP. The counter proposal is we'll forgive half of it because you're still responsible for half of that kid. It's yours. So you gonna pay. You gonna pay. No, the men asked for this, Cynthia. The women didn't ask for this. She came up with a whole plan for black men, just for black men. The black men responded by saying, we don't want that. We want child support forgiveness. So instead of asking for education for helpful, more access to education, right? Or student loan forgiveness. Instead of asking for accountability from police force or government accountability when it comes to black folk, right? They asked for child support forgiveness. Oh, it's easy, Trish. It's easy. Welcome in, Trish. Good to see you. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna come down. See, we're gonna make this real simple. Come down to the county health department because you asked for the government to do this. So come down to the county health department. We're gonna line y'all up 10 at a time. All 10 of y'all gonna lay back, put them up in the air, put your feet up in the stirrups, just like a woman would when she's getting, when she's doing her obgyn. Put your feet in the stirrups. We're going to have a doctor come through and snip, a doctor come through and stitch, and a doctor come through and throw you a couple of antibiotics, and you out of here. 35 minutes is over with. That's it. You don't even have to pay nothing. It's the county health department. All you got to do is sign the paper, snip, go home, sit on some ice and a pillow for 2 days, go home. Go home, sit on a pillow and some ice for 2 days, you can go right back to work. So we'll forgive your child support forgiveness. We'll forgive the child support that you owe, half of it, because you still gonna pay for the child, because that's half of that kid is yours. But in order for us to take that 80,000 down to 40, I need them balls. Come on down here to the health department. We're gonna snip them off, give you some antibiotics, stitch you up, go home. That way we ain't got to worry about you making no more kids. Now, they want it, they're going to pay it. You're going to pay it. We'll forgive half of it. This is my counter proposal to what they asked the VP for. You asked Madam Vice President for child support forgiveness. This is my counter proposal on her behalf. So, give me that sack. Because men can have 365 babies every year. We bust one off on Monday. The factory shuts down. And on Tuesday, it opens back up, ready for business. Every 24 hours, it is replenished and ready to go. Over the same course of 1 year, a woman can have one. Yeah, it shut down for a little while. Shuts down for a little while. So I want the men to come up. I know y'all scared. Y'all see K up here. But I want the men to come up and tell me if you agree or disagree. It's not that they having an out, Lori. But we'll forgive it. But you're going to give up the problem that we have anyway. And the problem is that ball sack. Let me get those. That's not an out. That's not an out. Hey, Kid K, you hush, Trish. No, No, it's not an out. It really isn't. What do you mean? How does it help the child? The money is still gonna get paid. That's why half of it, whatever he owes, if he owes 100 grand, you still got to pay 50. But because he wants them to forgive all of it, we're not going to forgive all of it. We'll forgive half of it, but you're going to give up that sack. We can't forgive it all. You have to have some responsibility. You have to. Why would she have to agree with it? No, she don't have to agree with it. She going to get her money because he's going to agree to pay the 50 grand. Now, they'll do what they always do when you have arrears, back child support. They'll tell you, well, this is how much your current child support is, and this is how much you're going to pay for the arrears, for how much you owe. Maybe he losing money. Maybe the child is losing money. Half of what's owed, he's losing. But the man is losing his ability to make more children and put us deeper in the hole in this problem. There's 400,000 children in foster care. The men know who their kids are. They know they got kids. And there's 85,000 black children in foster care. They know it's their children. Go get your kid. You don't need to worry women about having more. You don't need to police the women's body. You don't need to police the women's body. Worry about that. The problem is the men. So we're going to settle this problem with the men. We're going to snip that sack, and then you can go down there and get your kids. We run DNA test on you. We run a DNA test on you. And if that DNA matches that kid that's in foster care, congratulations. It's a 14-year-old son. Take him home. It's yours anyway. Again, that's what I'm talking about, T. It's 85,000 black children in foster care. Dudes know that's their kids. Go get your kids, bro. You ain't got to worry the women about, oh, y'all having smortions and y'all not having our children. You got 85,000 of them right down the street. Go get them. Go get them. And I'm sorry you're going through that, T-Fast, because this is what we talking about. Yeah, they're your kids. Go get them. Go down there and say, hey, I think 13 years ago, I had a child that was born, and I found out that I think she turned the child in to foster care. Cool. Come on in. We'll do a DNA. We have the DNA on the kids. Do your DNA. They'll match it to whichever kid it is. Congratulations. You got a 14-year-old son. Take him home with you. Sign right here. Cool. 85,000 of y'all can go get your kids. You ain't got to worry about more children. You don't need to tell the women what they need to do with their bodies. You got 85,000 of them. Go get them. And if you want some forgiveness, I want that sack. No. If you make them sign their rights away, Black Ice, then they don't have to pay anything. You still going to be responsible for half. You're going to be responsible for half of what you owe. So we'll forgive half of what you owe. Y'all see the goal is 20 candles. Y'all hit that goal for me. That's what we're doing. We're going to forgive half of that. You forgive half of that? Cool, let me get that sack. Go get your kids out of foster care. You don't need to worry about making no more kids. Because the idea, thank you, Cynthia, the idea is you're not going to make no more kids and put no more women and kids in this position. Thank you, Rock Sexy. Appreciate that. Thank you. So what we're going to do, we're going to forgive half of what you got. But what we're going to do is take that sack so you don't put no more women and children through this. That way you can't have no more kids. That way we won't have to worry about 60-year-old men, 70-year-old men putting babies on 25 and 30-year-old women. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Angel, for the candles. See, this is what I'm talking about. Enough with making the women responsible for what they do and for us. And by the way, if she decides to have the child, that is accountability. Sorry. Sorry. Where's Angel? I know Angel wanted to come up. Let me let Angel up for a minute. Angel, how you feeling?
I'm out here at the fire and I'm just living. And just listening.
Okay, just listening. And this is what I'm talking about. This, and they don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this.
I'm a woman that has 4 kids that doesn't get child support because I don't want to ever see him again. I don't want him knowing where I'm living. I don't want him thinking that he has any power or control in my life. And because of that, many men and women look at me like I'm insane because I don't get child support. But it's always been that I don't want the government involved in my life. I don't. He has to deal with what he's not doing with God. There's nothing that the government can do beyond what God is going to have for him. There's nothing. My 7-year-old daughter does not know who he is. She couldn't pick him out of some pictures. We looked through our photo albums one day and she asked me, "Who is this?" And I scrolled past the pictures, you know?
Wow.
It's deeper than that. I truly and sincerely want my children to thrive. You want yours to thrive, right?
Of course.
So
about $100,000, Cynthia. Woo, woo.
What a lawyer told me, my ex-husband is going to be almost $750,000 in arrears for my children.
That's crazy.
And they said, if we take your case, we're going for 1.2. We're not going to go below 750,000. We're going for 1.2. The best case scenario is that he signs over his rights and that you never have to see him again. And in my case, I want to move out of the country. That's what I want. Because if you don't know, if you're married to someone and you move out of the country, they have to sign off on your children's passports. I'm not asking his ass for shit, for nothing. Sign off your rights. Leave me alone. I will go hard for the rest of my life, Silverback. You know me for real, for real. I will go hard for my kids, but understand that this system is built on a patriarchy. There are plenty of judges that owe child support. There are lawyers that owe child support. There are, law enforcement that owe child support. They will never be on my side, and they don't understand. I told my ex-husband from day one, I'll never put you on child support as long as you don't make no more kids. And what did he do?
Go out and make more kids.
He got a 6-month-old. He got a 6-month-old.
How old is he?
I got my tubes tied to be responsible. He got a 6-month-old. He is my ex-husband. What is he? I'm 42, so he's 4 years younger than me. So he's 38, 39. He's got a 6-month-old. I was responsible. You're still out here making babies. You're still out here making babies, and he's not with that young lady. I have no animosity towards her. But
it's not her.
You should have done some background on him to see that he was a deadbeat to me. I've never dealt with a deadbeat in my life. I've never, and if any woman that's on your stream right now, if you're dealing with a deadbeat and you know he's not taking care of his kids, you're just as bad. You're a deadbeat by proxy. Sorry.
Hold on, Angel. Double A. And what if she does? You want to come up and defend that? I'll ask the ladies to step down, and you can come up and you can talk to me about that statement.
Ma'am,
And if she does, so what?
I am confusion because my family is military and my papa was a Rolling Stone. I tried to stop the cycle. My daddy got kids overseas. I got a little Asian half brother. I'm not understanding.
What did you eat? A bowl of bullshit? Because what did you eat? Because if she does, so what?
Men?
I think he was talking
Your
about
plate is empty, sir. I'm sorry.
I think he's talking about you hate men. And as I said, if she does, and
oh no, because I love, and when they say that, they think that we're fatherless. I love my father to death. I got 6 older brothers. I got sons. I got cousins and nephews that I guide through life. But the talking points that you say don't affect me none. So
you got 2 followers. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that explains it. Move on.
Yeah, 2 followers. Yeah, go on about your business, bro. Go somewhere because you can't even come up. Go on somewhere. You and both of the people that follow you. Go on somewhere, man.
Go on somewhere.
All 3 of y'all. Yeah, all 3 of y'all.
All 3 of y'all. Go have a huddle. Go sit over there with the rest of the people that's waiting for us to give a shit. I don't care.
Any man in the comments, any man that's watching, you want to come up and defend this? I mean, I don't know how you can, but you're more than welcome to come up and argue the point. Tell me whether you agree or disagree.
And I'm sort of confused why Double A would have a problem with me, because this is where I have a problem, Silverback. I am what they say they want. Or at least I was the submissive woman. I am educated. I cook. I clean. I was a corn whatever for him. I did all of that. I worship the ground that any man that I deal with walks on. Why y'all not mad at the ones that's out here dogging good women? I be so confused. Do you want to drop on your knees for my ex-husband? I'm pretty sure that he would enjoy that. But
Kay, you wanna answer that question, Kay, as to why men argue for other men? I'll let you answer it if you like. I mean, I know what the answer is, but I could let Kay answer that question, because men will defend any dumb shit men do and say. That's why. So he's up here defending your ex-husband by saying you hate men. And he clearly heard what you said your ex-husband did to you and y'all 4 children. Now I'm pandering.
So
you
let
clearly
me just
heard.
This
hold on. He clearly heard what you said. You and your 4 children. This man's 4 children. He clearly heard what you said that this man put y'all through. He clearly heard.
Double A. My ex-husband, in the birth of my last child, left me in ICU to lose my life. Okay? My ex-husband kicked me in the stomach while I was about to give birth to that last child. So you can continue to defend him and defend men like him. And that is why the nonsense that goes on in our community will continue.
Facts.
Okay?
Facts.
That's why.
This is the thing. This.
Go ahead,
let
Kay.
me just say this. Okay, because I went over to his profile. And so he's sitting there with his face, part of his face covered with a whole wedding band. Sir, go talk to your wife. Nobody wants to hear you here. You're trolling. Go talk to your wife or your husband, whomever you got with you. You got on a wedding band. Go spend time with your spouse. I'm sure there's more important things you can be doing right now instead of trolling alive where people don't even want you here.
Right.
So
that part.
Go spend time with your spouse. Because I'm sure they probably looking at you like don't you want to spend time with me? Like, this is a time for quality time. Go spend time with your spouse.
Thank you. And he says,
Facts.
what did I do? Is there anything
now he's playing the victim.
Is there anything that I could have done to make him harm my now 7-year-old child? Is there anything that would make it okay for him to kick me while I was
absolutely
this
not.
child?
Absolutely not.
And I wouldn't even ask that
So
question.
what are you saying?
Ask that question. To even ask that question is ridiculous. And here it is. This troll is sitting here who has on a band probably just for the picture, because you know
I feel sorry for your wife.
Oh no! You know what? Correction. The wife is probably a sock, and he has sock and lotion. So he's probably home with his sock and lotion, crying into the keyboard because that's his wife. Like, these dudes are sad. They're sad.
Yeah,
go ahead and get him. Go ahead and get him up out of here, because
I just muted the dude, man. Block him. You can block him, Josh.
So sad. Because I see men that have gone through things like you.
Thank you, Josh.
Silverback, that want to change and want to do things right. I see men that see error in their ways. I see how society has kind of curved the
Read this, and I'll be back with my commentary. Grand Rising is K. Shepherd.
Foolishness. I was a card-carrying member. I just can't.
Rhetoric. It's a bunch of rhetoric, and it's a bunch. And this, you know what I think is most sad about this? Because, coming onto the app and seeing how black men were talking about black women in such a negative way, and it was like shell shock, because I was like, whoa, wait a minute, whoa, this is how y'all really feel about us, and this is how you really see us. Like, it was heartbreaking, right? But then now to be like removed from that and being like, I don't know what rose-colored glasses I was looking through to actually that y'all cared about us, And it's sad because you can see the breakdown in the ideology of wanting to be massa. Like, you want to be massa. You want a black woman to be your resource. You want us to be your 40 acres and a mule. You want to use a black woman as your resource.
And
let me
understand it. I never understand it, because I truly want to work together with a black man to create something. I never see him as beneath me. You hear what that man just said to me. What did you do?
What did you do?
What did I do? There's nothing that could excuse that. You are my equal. I love you. I want to see you succeed. I look at black men now from coming on TikTok. The most disheartening thing about this all is that people don't. Pressure pushing me from all sides. Insecure. The most disheartening.
I thought like that. I felt like that. I agreed with a lot of it. Now, Kevin Samuels, Sotomayor, Jordan, couple of other ones, they made my ass itch. I thought they were crazy. I thought they was just out to lunch. Like, y'all, I don't know what the hell wrong with y'all. I don't know what y'all got going on. But the fact that I even entertained that, it's just like the mindset. Just the mindset. And then for me to actually go to child support court, because I went to child support myself. I had a child support issue, and they locked me up for 8 months. So I totally get it. But to go there and see the mindset and the argument of the men, whereas for the most part, most of the women that were in there were saying, he don't want to do nothing. He don't want to do nothing. He don't want to help. He don't want to see the kid. He don't want to pay the kid. It's like, and then the other part is dudes won't even show up.
So
they won't even show up.
To any man listening, I want them to hear this. My first child's father that passed away, when they brought me to child support court, the state made me go to child support court because I was getting health insurance for my daughter. And when I stood in front of the judge, I was like, I'm not understanding why I'm here, because he takes care of his daughter. He comes and gets her. He keeps her for weeks on end, and he's a good dad. I can't say anything against him. They asked me to sign some papers, and I said, absolutely not. I'm not signing anything. If you want to go after him, you're going to have to go after him on your own, because I want no parts of it. He's a good father. You understand?
Good point, Josh.
In contrast, the one that I had 4 children by, he does nothing. He doesn't want to see them. He doesn't want to do anything. He's out here having more kids. Understand, a woman like me that's truly only here living on this earth for my children. I don't understand how a man as a human doesn't. That's my
because listen, because like Tiana just said, when we are done with you, we done with the children. That's why we'll leave you, go get with another woman and help her take care of her kids.
Yeah,
and not our own.
And
not
that's
our own.
what disgusts me, because my little baby girl, she's a gymnast. She does all her flips. She has the cutest dimples. She's so bright and smart. I can't understand why this man would not want to provide for her. And at that point, it's not that I hate you because of any relationship with me and you. It's the fact that you're treating my daughter bad is why I hate you.
They don't
Let me
care.
hold on. Let me bring up somebody else.
Yeah, they don't care. Let me just add this, because my son's father, I took him to court. My son's father owes $80,000 in back child support. And I tell you like this, I'm not holding my breath to ever see it. But what I am going to do is get a life insurance policy, and so when the day that he does go, they're going to say, well, why do you have this policy? And I'll be like, well, he owes this much in back child support, so I needed to collect some kind of way.
That's the only way you're going to get it.
And honestly, they could prop him up on a fence somewhere. I could care less. Let the birds pick away at him. I don't really care.
Esther,
his payments was $253 a month. $253 per month. And you mean to tell me you couldn't handle that? No, you did that to be.
They want forgiveness from that.
You did that to
forgiveness.
Yeah.
From $250 a month. Yeah. Esther, you got something to say? Welcome up.
Yes. Well, I think a lot of the issues why a lot of the black men are asking for child support forgiveness is that a lot of black men are not even in a big percentage. I'm not going to say a lot. A big percentage of black men are not even in a financial space to barely take care of themselves. So that is the reason they're asking for child support forgiveness.
Oh.
If it's not,
then they shouldn't be having a kid, though, right?
They should not be having kids. So we also need to.
What's up, broad in the mind?
We need to be looking at the group of men that are asking for this, because men who can afford to do it, they're doing it. And
right, I don't have a problem. I went to prison. I came home. I owed. Yeah, it's not a problem.
I don't agree with that, because just like Angel said, there are judges, there are lawyers that owe back child support. There are famous people that owe back child support.
And
so
I agree with you, but a lot of these men, just because they got the money, they still don't have the emotional maturity to be a father.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with paying child support.
Yes, like, because if they have a problem with it and they have the money to pay it, they don't want to extend themselves out of their own maturity of, this is my responsibility.
That's an excuse, because we all have to pay bills.
But that's their excuse, though.
Okay, so then they don't
mature to see their fault. And what we're having is a lot of men, regardless if they got money or not, and women as well, are not even in the mental capacity to be in relationships, and they're having children. Well, so we have a lot of people who are mentally ill in a certain degree on how they view things. that they are not even in the capacity to be in a relationship with anyone outside of themselves. So anything outside of themselves, they cannot see taken care of unless they choose. So we have a lot of people who are in relationships that should not be in relationships. We have mothers that should not be mothers. We have fathers who should not be fathers.
Absolutely.
Regardless on how much money they make. It doesn't matter. If you're not emotionally mature enough to realize your responsibility, it doesn't care, because if I don't have an emotional attachment to you to be considerate, thoughtful, or kind, I'm not going to care about you regardless.
So as Josh just said, right?
They'll care about
hold on.
Past tense of that.
Yeah, but listen, like Josh just said, the kids are already here.
Of me that was married to someone for 12 years.
But who?
Someone that I thought that would be there, and he just decided, I don't care about you.
Hold on a second.
About the children.
Hold on a second. Josh got a great point. The kids are already here. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about. I don't care about none of that.
Right.
With respect to what you said, Esther, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I did 5 years and 10 months in prison. I came home. My baby turned 18 3 weeks after I got home. What does that have to do with the back child support that I owe?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. What does that have to do with the fact that my ex-wife took care of her while I was locked up? So I pay what I'm supposed to pay. What I was paying before I got locked up, that's what I pay her. And I'm paying toward the arrears. It's not a lot because I just came home. But that's what the judgment was, so that's what I pay. This is the first time I'm talking about it. I just told Kay about this a few days ago when we was talking. A lot of y'all know.
Your willingness to have accountability.
But it's no excuse.
It's no
excuse,
but you are willing to be accountable. And a lot of
willing or unwilling is I'm not giving them no pass, Esther. I'm not. I don't give a fuck what the excuse is. I don't care. If you got the balls enough to ask a presidential candidate, and a woman at that, for forgiveness, for child support, for our vote, and you owe 100 grand, 50 grand, cool. Let me get them balls and we'll forgive half of it. Because you still gonna be responsible. But we're gonna make sure you cannot make any more kids. If I can do my time in prison and then come home and still paying for my kid, and I'm working part-time, paying the full amount, it's not a lot. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's right at $200 a month. That's literally the back child support I'm paying. That's it.
Like
still for 18-year-old, for a child, for a college kid. Now she's in college, so that 50, 60 bucks a week, 40, 50, 60 bucks a week that I send her, she loves it. She don't have to worry her mama. She don't have to look for this. She don't have to look for that. But that's what I owe because I was gone. And hopefully by the time she's out of college, I'll be. But if I could pay the back child support coming home from prison, what's them niggas' excuse?
Because they probably making $1,000 a month, if that.
What that got to do with it? Then pay 500 of it. I ain't giving them no excuse.
It's no excuse, but simply because, and I'm gonna say this really briefly, there's no excuse because they're not taking into account how much it's costing that mother. That mother has to pay every day. So I could care less. If he's making 1,000, well then you put up 200 and make sure that your kid is taken care of.
That's it.
That's the problem. The problem is that, I ain't making enough money. Well, you should have thought about that before you should have thought about that. Lied, or you laid down and wasn't responsible for your swimmings. That's on you.
My monthly bills are $5,500 a month. Okay, $5,500 a month. I don't work right now. I have to have surgery in a few months. No matter what the excuse is, I got to come up with that regardless. My ex-husband is running around kid-free, able to enjoy his life, able to go to work without having to pay for childcare, without
having to pay
for field trips, ain't got to pay for shoes, ain't got to pay for none of that. If I could go through what I'm going through, having to pay $5,500 a month, and about to have surgery and lost my job, what the hell is your excuse? I don't want to hear it. If you're not able to do it, so sad. Sorrows, prayers, thoughts and chairs. I don't care. Because I have to do all of this. I told my ex-husband, it's no way that I would ever feel sorry for you while you're out here doing what you do as a single man when I got to do all of this with 4 kids on my back, and I still do it. There's no way I'd ever feel sorry for you. No way.
I can't give it. If I can do it on the little meager prison salary that I had and that I'm making now, and I'm working about part-time. I'm doing about 32 hours a week. I'm not even at 40, right? My hours got cut all the way down. If I can still do it, and again, it's not a lot. I'm just paying for the stuff. I'm just paying for the back stuff, that the back child support for when I was gone. All of the time I spent in that courtroom, none of them dudes, their back child support was less than $250 a month. Like the arrears. So whatever your original judgment is, okay, you owe, let's say $5,000, $200 a month, $200 a month on top of what you're paying. So a lot of them is $450, $480, $500, $550, because the arrears come up, which is usually, all the ones I saw was between $40 and $70 a week for the arrears, and $35 to about $60 a week for the regular payment. That's less than $250 a month plus the arrears. You're talking less than $500 a month. The dude is making $1,000 a week just bullshitting around. What's the problem? Because if I can make it work.
I want you to look at the comment that someone else just put up there at 07. Who's feeling sorry for the mothers and the kids? There's been times where I ain't ate for days just to make sure that the kids got. There's been times that I had to send them to school and whatever they had. There's been times that I done had really hard times. You feel bad for the men that's out there that ain't doing nothing, that he's spending his money on buying Madden and Call of Duty, because that's what my ex is spending it on. He's spending it on Madden and Call of Duty. Meanwhile, his daughter is a talented gymnast, and it costs less than $50 to send her to gymnastics school. Yet every time I call him, he want to argue with me. And I tell him, you good, my guy. I'm not even doing this with you because I've reached the point of where I understand that you see that this is a point of power for you. I will not give you that. We good. I don't care what I got to do. If I got to sell my firearms, if I got to do whatever, she gonna go to gymnastics school. It's just a point of power. They don't feel sorry for us. They don't care about their kids. And therefore, I will never feel sorry for them. When I do go to court, because I have decided that I am finally going to court, because everybody telling me that I'm crazy for not going to court, I am now. And I told him,
I'm gonna let you up, Black Lotus. Hold on a second.
Don't cop no. Black
Lotus and Lena, I'm gonna let y'all up. So I'm gonna bring up 2 more people, ladies. Angel and Esther. Thank y'all for coming up. I got I'm gonna let Kay. I need you to stay here. You're the moderator. You're the counselor, so that you can run it when I walk away for a second, because I'm gonna bring up the other 2 ladies. But thank y'all for coming up, Angel. Thank you so much, Angel. And y'all follow Angel, because she be doing her content on her farm. She got some good shit going on that farm when she's healthy. Feel better, Angel. And I'm gonna bring up hold on a second, where are they? So I'm gonna bring up Black Lotus, and I know Lena been waiting for a minute, so I'm gonna bring them up. I was looking for men to come up, but since none of the men are coming up, since none of the men are coming up, we'll talk to a couple of the ladies. Lena's been waiting for a while. Lena, thanks for being patient.
No problem.
None of the guys want to come up, so I mean, to ask for child support forgiveness to me is just crazy, especially when they don't have a problem. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, sweetheart, because you are actually talking facts. I'm going through crazy shit with my ex, and he don't care about his kids in any way, shape, or form at all. And
The 50-50 podcast. Oh God.
It's really sad. It's really sad because my kids deserve more than I feel personally that my kids deserve more than what he's given them. I'm not saying in terms of child support.
Right.
I have my kids are now my two kids. I call my oldest big man on here, and I call my little guy Frog Man. Frog Man and Big Man are 14 and 11 respectively.
Okay.
Big Man don't want nothing to do with his father. Don't want nothing to do with his father now because of what his father has done to him. And that's sad. It's sad that a child don't want nothing. Like he don't even want the child support. He don't
That's
even want the
crazy.
child support. The child doesn't even want the money. He said, tell him to take his money, shove it up his ass. Excuse me for saying it that way. That's exactly how my 14-year-old said it. He said he could take that money, shove it up his ass. I want to be free of him. So
That's crazy.
do not, I'm going to say I don't agree with vasectomies for child support forgiveness. At a certain age, I think that the child should be allowed to step before the court and say, listen, I don't want him. I don't want his money. I don't want what he's done to me. I want
Thank
him.
you so
I
much,
want
Rob.
him scrubbed from my record. That's what my oldest wants. So that
That's
he can live a
crazy.
life that his background check. This is what my oldest is 14-year-old has enough presence of mind to say something like this. He said, I don't want to have to deal with this man if I want to go on a trip out of the country while I'm a minor and I need a passport. He'll never sign off on a passport for me.
Right.
So why should I have to deal with him? He'll never allow me to have experiences that I want to have unless he's in some type of control of said experience. And I don't want to deal with him. So I think that at some point, the children should be allowed to say when they have enough presence of mind and a third party person, because I got a social worker working with my kids over this stuff.
Right.
And, I think with a third party person involved, and if the child has enough presence of mind, I think the courts need to start listening to the kids that say, I don't want nothing to do with this person and I want you to take them, I want you to remove them from my records so I don't have to deal with them no more.
Especially if the kids are of age. If the kids are old enough, if the kids are of age, yeah, let them tell you what they want to be, what they want to do, who they want to deal with. I don't think that you or the children should have to go through this foolish, like they have no problem. I've never had a problem laying down and making a baby. My problem came when it was time to be responsible for it. And my grandfather put me in check real quick. Like when I finally told everybody my oldest daughter was on the way, I was 19. He said, I'll never forget, he was like, boy, man, take care of his responsibilities. That was it. He didn't fuss. He didn't argue. He didn't make a fuss about it. He didn't get mad. He didn't fuss at me for getting a child pregnant or getting a woman pregnant. He didn't do none of that. All he said was, man, take care of his responsibilities. That's literally it. That was it. And for me having come through this childhood thing, teenage thing, young man thing, with my old man on the outside watching but never wanting to be involved, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be like him because I saw what it did to my own mother. Right? It's like the idea of me following in his footsteps. Now I did wind up following in some of the footsteps, and then.
But you've grown, you've evolved.
Yeah,
with some people, there's no growing, there's no evolving, there's no thought process to go on further. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And I'm not, and I know other people I know some people on here have been talking about it being a black man issue. This is not just
it's a man issue.
This is a man issue, period, because
It's a man issue.
my ex is white.
Yeah.
My ex works
It's a man
in
issue.
for a good technology firm. He makes like $60-something thousand a year. And do you know what he's doing? Do you know what he's doing? He's living off of his new woman and his new and her daughter, the daughter that he made with her. And he's living off of their disability because they're both disabled people.
That
It's
is
disgusting.
wow.
Okay?
Black Lotus.
My kids.
Hold on a second. No, go ahead. Finish up. I was just telling Black
I was
Lotus. Hold
gonna
on,
say,
because I'm coming to her next.
Oh, good. I was gonna say, my kids, I moved them out of state, far away from him, because he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing to begin with. And
Well,
then
so,
on top
Ali-
of that, he would come and harass me. Took me to court several times saying I didn't let him take the kids. No, I'm not gonna let you take my kids if you smell like alcohol. No, I'm not.
Hell no. Nah. No,
No, I'm not
hell
gonna
no.
let you go off with my children if you smell like alcohol. No, I'm not gonna let you go off with my children if you smell like illegal substances. I am not gonna let you take my kid. I'm sorry. You're acting foolish.
Yeah.
You think that
Yeah.
this is okay to do. You think it's okay to do what you're doing and then take my children and by proxy involve my children in whatever garbage you're into.
That's crazy.
Putting my children in danger when you know for a fact that what you're doing is wrong. So I am not down for no type of child support forgiveness, even if they get vasectomies. I don't care, because I think at a certain point, I think if they want child support forgiveness for a vasectomy, they were like, oh, I'll trade a vasectomy for child support forgiveness. Fine. Go ahead. But at the same time, then put a clause in there. There needs to be a clause in there for the children, because they come to a certain point in their lives and they see what's going on. And if one of your children can make a choice to say, I don't want that in my life, then that should go for all the kids involved in the same case. And that's the end of the story.
I agree. And thanks for that, Lena. This shit is crazy. Black Lotus, thank you for being patient. I really appreciate you coming up.
No problem.
What do you think about the prompt?
I think that vasectomies should be treated in the same way that we treat any other punishment for a crime. I feel like abandonment of your parental responsibility should be a crime, and I believe that both women and men who fail to act appropriately and responsibly as parents should no longer be allowed to make more children to disappoint.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I came up with this backdrop, because more often than not, even when we do have a problem with women being mothers or certain types of mothers, they always have the damn children. They have the
Right.
children, and the men don't want to be found, or they're nowhere to be found, or they claiming they broke, or they'll quit a great paid job to work under the table because they don't want to pay for their child support. And it's like, whatever we say about the women, you can say that, but the accountability for the women is they have the children. They got them. They're taking the children because the men won't. And so for me, it's like, even going to child support court and looking at it, it's like, I don't understand what the problem is. For Killer Mike to go to a bunch of senators and Congress and a bunch of white men and say they need child support forgiveness, they need for there to be programs for the young men who get the women pregnant so they'll stay with the woman and the child. Like, I don't understand, because it was just wasn't it just you who was saying these programs that the women get are government programs and the women are using them up? The child support, the housing with Section 8, the food stamps, the check. Weren't you saying those were government handouts to black women? Weren't you saying those were handouts to women in general? Now you want that same government to take away those handouts from the women, but give them to the young men. So they'll stay with the woman and the child.
I think it's hilarious that men consistently talk about how men consistently talk about women not doing their part or women not being careful and things like that, when it is like 9 times out of 10, it is men who are going out and creating these families that they then walk away from because they don't feel an obligation to stay and parent. And child support is not a strong enough deterrent. They will make as many children as the state will allow them to.
Right. And it's a big thing where men are trying to get to 10 children because at 10 children, literally nationwide, they stop the child support or they drop it so low, like each woman might get $10. And then the other issue is when you do pay a lot of the back child support, it doesn't even go to the woman and the kid. It goes back to the state because the state has been helping take care of your child or children. So dudes got a double-edged sword.
Men constantly complain about women leaving men for welfare. And the irony is, so what you're saying is that the government's doing a better job taking care of your family than you.
That's pretty much what they're saying. Yeah. That's pretty much what they're saying.
And you know what the sad part is?
If y'all think this, hang on a second, Leonard. Hold on a second. And for the dudes that might be looking, right, and saying, oh, he's pandering, he's a simp. For those of you who might be saying, oh, this is another one of them man-bashing things. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And if I'm pandering to women, it's because I like women. I love them. I absolutely love women. I sure do. I like how they walk. I love how they smell. I like how they look. Of course. If I'm pandering to women, it's because I like women. I absolutely love them.
But this isn't pandering. This isn't pandering. And I'm going to tell you why it's not pandering.
Shit.
I'm going to tell you why you're not pandering. Because this honestly is a nationwide problem.
Facts.
And this is a systemic problem with men that is now causing so much poverty in our country.
It is. It's a when I use the word collective, they like to say, well, it's not all men. Maybe. But all the women are having the same problem. And who are they having that problem with? Men. So collectively, it's all of us. Because there are those that are doing it, and there are those who watch us do it, but don't say nothing, won't check us for it.
Exactly.
It's all of us.
No, you just said it. You just said it so right. You just said it so right, because let me tell you something. I didn't take my ex to court. My ex took me to court on lies, telling them that he didn't know my citizenship status.
Huh?
And that, because I'm Puerto Rican. He told them I could have family all over the place. I wouldn't even know. I don't even know where she is. She could take the kids out of the country and I would never see them again. And she's a flight risk.
Wait, you say he works in a tech firm, so that means he has some kind of smarts, right?
Yep.
He
was smart enough to try and lie to the court to try and make me look bad.
But he
made himself look bad.
But yeah, I mean, because does he know that Puerto Rico is a United States territory? So you're not.
He does. He does. He was trying to use that as a means for them to investigate me and drag the court out longer.
Yeah, you can't
to drag the shit out longer. And my kids were listening to, and this all stemmed from me literally walking into my own home. I walked into my own home and witnessed him in the, in the act of cheating. And I said to him, I'm leaving. What did he do? He went straight that Monday morning. This was a Friday night. That Monday morning, he went straight to court to tell them that I broke into his apartment so he could keep me out of my apartment. That my name was on the lease. He was not on the lease.
That didn't work. Because once you show the lease, it's a wrap.
I didn't even care. I told them, you know what? Let him keep the apartment. He keep the apartment. I don't want to live there. I don't care.
Unbelievable.
I don't give a crap. I said, you know
what's
what?
crazy?
I don't care. But to go on and lie, to drag me through the mud. Mind you, I worked in a law firm at the time. Okay? Dragged me through the mud. I was an event coordinator at a law firm. The man dragged me through the mud. Like, tarnished my reputation. And then on top of that, he was telling them, I want my kids back from her, who she's never had my kids. And she was taking them for a visit. I had them from the moment they came out of the hospital. What are you talking about? You've been with me.
Did he ever apply for joint custody?
No, the court ended up giving it to him. He wanted full custody, and he wanted me erased, and he wanted me to give him child support.
They'll give you joint custody, but they're not going to give you full custody. But
nope.
What I say this, and I know a lot of women not going to agree, but it's a good idea. Next time they say they better father than they are a better parent than you, pack the kids up and drop them off. I guarantee you in less than a month, they'll be back. I guarantee you.
I would never let my ex take my kids. Never in a million years.
He think he could, why not? That means you'll have freedom. He think he a better father than you a better mother. So, yeah, drop him off. Go ahead, prove it.
I would never, and I'll tell you why, because then he would then say I abandoned. He would do it again. He would lie in court, say I abandoned them, and
how? He's the father.
Have custody of them.
Yeah, how? He's the father.
Well, now he's in another
glad
state.
To give him child support? Wouldn't you be glad to ship him the child support so you can have your freedom? Because men don't have a problem with that. We don't have a problem.
I know they don't. Oh, I know they don't. But you know what? I was raised by a single mom. And I have a new husband now. And they have a little sister that they love. And they don't want to be separated from her. I would never do that to my kids. Because I know that the emotional destruction that their father has already caused them will not only continue, but perpetuate. And it would cause them to be without the things that they need, which is
I see that.
Kids need more than just money. Kids need more than just money. And
that is the truth.
Unfortunately, some people do not deserve the children that they have. And like Black Lotus said before, it's both. It's man and woman. Whoever's not going to do it, they both need to, suffer the consequences if they want forgiveness of child support. But then at the same time, I'm fully in this belief that at a point,
Catalina,
there has to be, they give them that, if they get that forgiveness and they take that vasectomy or they take that tubal, whether man or woman, at some point in time, the kids need to be given the right to talk in court, to be able to say, I don't want to deal with this crap no more. If they have a parent that's been a deadbeat.
I agree.
Because if they want all of this, they want to be forgiven, then they need to also give the kids more rights in court, in every court, because not every state wants to hear from the children at all. Some states don't even take into account the mental welfare of the children. They don't
crazy.
care.
We got a real issue, and thanks for that, Lena, and thanks for coming up. I'm gonna bring somebody else up. Catalina's here.
Yes, fine.
Thanks for coming up.
Honey, for giving me a spotlight
a space to talk.
Because
yeah, please.
I feel
no problem,
honestly, in my soul that if this is what people want, if this is what they're coming out and saying, like you said, Killer Mike, he's coming out and saying, oh, well, the young men need help, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's going to be bilateral. Women, men, fine. But at the same time, on a federal level now, all children's rights are protected, that once they become 14, 15 years old and they are in right presence of mind, and that is determined by a third party person like a social worker or a guardian ad litem, you know, the lawyers for the kids.
Yeah.
That are supposed to fight for the children, then the child should be allowed to say, I don't want to deal with them no more. And what do you want to do? I want them scrubbed from my record, or I do not want their last name anymore, and I want them to leave me alone. You know, that needs to be added.
At a certain age, yeah. At a certain age. I can see that. Say 15, 16. I can see that.
The only thing I'm going to say to that is, in certain circumstances, that if they're a minor, they will still get benefits if something happens. So I wouldn't even suggest that. I mean, and I'm going to speak for myself because I was 17 years old when my father passed away, and I didn't even know he passed. I found out about 10 months after he passed away that he passed away. And I received Social Security benefits for at least a year. So the thing is that even though, yes, I know in their disgust, excuse me, in their disgust, they might not want to be attached to them. But then there are times when in an emergency or if a passing happens, you know, that child will be the beneficiary of, like, whether it's a life insurance policy,
APG,
or Social Security, or something along those lines. So I get it where you might not want nothing to do with your parent. However, as long as it's documented that that's that child's parent, they will still have to be responsible, even if it is in their passing.
Good point. They still have to be responsible. I got two more people. And thanks for coming up, Lena.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. Kay, you do make a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. I do agree with that too, on some extent. But
I'm gonna follow you back too.
If the kid doesn't want to, you know, I really think the kids should also have. I think that should be a federal mandate added to this. If they want the child support forgiveness, fine, but the kids need to be heard, because there's a lot of kids out there that don't want nothing to do with their parents because their parents either abuse them or beat them or something like that, and that kid should be heard and shouldn't have to deal with that person ever again if they don't want to.
I agree, but I don't think the right should necessarily be stripped unless that parent has shown that they're a danger to that child. If that parent has shown that they're a danger to that child, then absolutely, unequivocally,
I agree.
But
I agree.
If that parent hasn't shown that they're a danger to that child, and that child just wants to be respected and like left alone, I think the court should definitely take that into account. Absolutely, because no child should have to spend time with a parent they don't want anything to do with.
Right. It might be an unsafe environment. I ain't gonna even go there. And we got two new people on the panel. Again, thanks for coming up, Lena. Catalina, I know you've been
Thank you
working
again
late.
for having me, guys. I appreciate y'all.
You have a good night.
Y'all
Catalina.
too.
Hey, Kat, what's going on? What's going on? On my journey, hold on a second. You're gonna go right after Catalina. What's going on, Kat?
Just watching Wrong Turn, like every bad decision if it was just all men. But anyways, vasectomies for 50% child support forgiveness. I am in full support of that. I feel like if you want to sit here and be like, I should be forgiven for any portion of it, you need to get them bitches snipped. You should, because you should not be able to keep popping them out and then just lowering your child support each and every time, because you keep busting out 30-second trophies while they've got.
What's up, big body beings? I agree.
I don't agree with that. You're over here like, here's, look, you got a 30-second trophy. She's got a lifetime commitment. I think the fuck not.
Right. So the reason I came up with this is, since that's what you want, cool. We'll give you that. You asking the VP, a sitting VP who's running for president, you want her on a federal level to forgive It's child support. Okay, cool. Let me get that sack, bruh. Let me get that.
Listen, no, nothing should be forgiven. You know why? Because I've yet to forgive any of their mothers. Had they had an ounce more self-respect, they'd be a stain in their daddy's boxers. Instead, they're here running up to VPs and future possible presidents talking about some child support forgiveness because their pull-out game is trash and they don't know what a condom is.
Right,
They
that
want
part.
to sit here and grunt for 30 seconds, have their Charlie horse seizure in .5, and then talk about some, but man, I still hit. No, sir.
This is my fault. This is my fault. I brought her up. I'm sorry. But I had to because I knew she had came in with a full clip. I was not expecting the Charlie horse. I'm triggered. I'm triggered. I'm about to mute my own mic and cry in the car. Cause
Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you know what? I doubt I am, and I know I'm not wrong because these motherfuckers will sit here and talk about some. We're more intelligent, we're more logical. You got 2 brain cells fighting for 3rd place. Their hairline is fighting for its life. They can't correct their barber, but they think they can correct a random woman on the internet. I refuse to hear it. I refuse. I will not be insulted by somebody that looks like a genetic dead end, and that's what half these fuckers look like. A mistake. The marks on their face are not. It's not acne scars. It's a failed attempt with a coat hanger. They just refuse to acknowledge it.
I'm about to turn my damn camera off. Shit, nigga done went from Charlie horses to my hairline to
I can't
hangers and
that which does not exist. Okay, Silver.
Socks and low. Listen, my hairline exists. Damn it, it might be over here and around the corner, but I can see it. I don't have to tilt my head down to see it. I can see it from. You know what? My journey. Hey, journey. Because I mean, hell, I'm triggered on my own damn live and my own topic. The hell going on, right? Hey, Journey. Go ahead and reload the clip, Catalina, because shit.
I'm over here shaking my head like, ooh, Lord.
Louie. Thanks for coming up, Journey. How's it going?
I'm fine. Thank you for allowing me. So I try to speak support. I try to speak on it as much as possible because I know there's a lot of disinformation out there about child support. I'm a child support enforcement specialist. Yeah.
Okay, let's get this from the horse's mouth. All right, let's do this.
That's what I do for a living. First of all, they can ask all day long for any type of, I guess they want to have the forgiveness on the child support. The only forgiveness that is offered through the states, and this is on the federal level that required it, the only forgiveness that they'll get is any debt that's owed to the state. Now, any debt that's owed to the state is what the custodial parent may have gotten assistance through the state for TANF assistance or even for medical assistance. That's it. That's the only thing they can get.
That's it. That's the only thing they can get. Okay.
That's it. But here's the thing. Even with those programs, this is the good thing about that. The non-custodial parents will be helped with getting new jobs. They'll work with them to overcome any barriers to employment. They'll put them in touch with employers that will do second chance employment. So they have no excuses because they literally will take them by the hand and work with them to get them to employment that is viable. So
hang on, Cynthia.
That's the first thing. The second thing that I want to say that I'm also a single mother. I've been a single mother for 20 years with no breaks. My son wouldn't know his father if he came and smacked him in the face. My daughter just found out in June that her father passed away. And I always told both of them, when I had my kids, I told them 6 months. You got 6 months to decide what you want to do. You can either pay child support or you can spend time. They chose not to do either. So after 6 months, I filed for child support. With my daughter's father, when he passed away, before he passed away, he had already had 1 heart attack. And I told him when I almost lost my daughter 3 times to asthma, I told him, and he was not there. And I told him, you are worth more to my daughter dead than you are alive. I told both of my kids. My son's father had a motorcycle accident that almost killed him. He woke up he paid his child support. You don't want to spend time with him, pay his child support. My daughter's father, he didn't want to listen to me when he had his first heart attack. He wanted to mess around. He passed away this past June, and I have my survivor's benefits for her. So she gets her money.
You.
I don't
Good
get
for
it.
you.
She gets it. I try to be a good mother, and I try to be fair to both of them. Even when they weren't working, I told them, and this people need to listen to this. If you cannot pay the entire amount every month, you need to pay something. Because me and my job, I see these parents and they're like, I can't pay this, but I have access to all of your records. I have access to your bank accounts. I have access to everything. You tell me that you can't pay $65 a month, but you got $10,000 in the bank. Guess what I'm going to get?
$65? Did you say $65 a month?
Some of them will be ordered to pay $65 a month if they claim that they're not working. If you claim you're not working and you only get ordered to pay $65 a month, but I look at your account and I see you have $10,000 in your account and you owe $30,000 in arrearages, guess what? I'm going to get it.
What the hell?
Because you can't bullshit a bullshitter. I've been on that side of it. You understand what I'm saying? And I understand. But I say that to non-custodial parents, whether they're male or female, because I will never, ever understand how a woman can carry a child for 9 months and not want to take care of their child.
But that's crazy. That's $65 a month.
Nurturing is conditional. We've been conditioned to be nurturers.
Right.
It's not automatic for everybody, and that's why you see those women. See, it could be a number of things that could cause that. Sometimes, depending on how abusive the situation is, she'll just leave her kid. Like, take the kid. You know, if it means I could walk away and still be alive. So, it depends on the circumstances. Not everything.
Yeah, I understand that. I've seen the situations where the abuse comes through because the custodial parent may be the father or the mother, but I've seen custodial parents that are fathers that are losing their minds on me. And I haven't done anything to try to help you and try to work with you. But if you're going to be as abusive to me as you are to the mother, then I understand why she gets on the phone crying with me saying that she had to walk away because of the abuse. I get it. I understand it.
Yeah.
My mom left when I was because my dad was abusive to her. So believe me when I tell you, I've seen it all. I've been through shit. And I do everything that I can to work with people, but there's so much disinformation out here about child support. You can have 20 kids. Guess what? There's no cap on the child support. They still look at everybody's income. So I don't understand where all this disinformation is coming from when people are saying that, child support gets a cut of the money that the child support gets nothing. All that money goes to the child, every bit of it. And when the custodial parent, if something happens to the custodial parent where they pass away, they need to have it set up in a provision where those kids can still collect that child support. They can collect it even as adults. If there's arrears, they can collect it as adults.
Yep. I'm paying mine.
That child support
right now.
That child support will follow the non-custodial parent to his grave. And if he has any property, it can't be sold. It can't be sold because there's going to be a lien on it. The child support is going to be paid. So you may as well pay it. It's going to be paid. Pay something.
I mean that $56 a month. That's just
in my state, the minimum.
Damn, that's crazy.
$65 a month. Yeah, the minimum is $65 a month. Now I'll tell you, I've even received payments on my child support case of 16 cents. You gonna waste your time to send me 16 cents? Are you kidding me? But you know what? It was a payment. But anybody who I suggest
that is crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suggest to anyone who, if you're not already on child support, open up the case yourself. If you have to pay child support, open it up yourself, because I've seen some really cruddy custodial parents who'll say they never received a dime. And as soon as we get those statements of payments in, guess what? You need to explain why you told us you never received anything and he or she paid all this money to you each month. You need to explain this to us because we're not going to listen to anything you got to say from this point out.
So how does somebody, one of these guys that's 10, 15, 20, 30, $40,000 in back child support, when the order comes up, $65 a week, what do you do for the arrears?
The judge can add the arrears on there. The judge can definitely add the arrears on there. But here's the thing. If they're not working, if the judge is not willing to impute the income, and when I mean impute the income, they look at their past jobs, look at their experience, and the judge can say, you know what? You're capable of making at least this much. So this is what we're ordering for your child support.
Okay.
They can do that. They can do that. Sometimes judges are kind of lenient. Sometimes they're very lenient. And that's fine, but it's already in the court. And if they don't abide by that, it's in the court. And if the custodial parent decides, you know what, y'all aren't doing enough, and we've had this happen, y'all aren't doing enough, so I'm going to take it back to court myself, and I'm going to file a motion for contempt. The last thing, there are two things that we don't want to do. Our last thing is to have someone locked up, because that's not going to benefit anybody. But the other thing is suspending a driver's license. Because why are we going to put somebody out there and they don't even have a license to drive back and forth to work? We would rather for the non-custodial parent to contact us, explain to us what's going on, go into a payment agreement, because we can do payment agreements. We can do payment agreements, but you have to keep up with that payment agreement. You have to keep up with it.
That's the problem. And then I've seen 100 studies that say the average child support amount paid is less than $250 a month, like $247 a month. The average judgment might be close to $500 a month, but I'm assuming that's taking account of men who do earn a lot of money. So they're not just taking the guy who might be unemployed working on the table, but they're taking everybody. And so, but the average paid amount is $247 a month.
Yeah, I've seen child
That's insane.
support. Yeah, I've seen child support orders upwards of $3,000 a month.
Right.
And to look at what the non-custodial parent is making, it's like, how do you pay $3,000 a month and all you're making is $70,000 a year?
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's
you
literally that's half of what they're making. Sure.
Right, exactly. So again, I say to anybody who has to pay child support, don't run from it. You need to stand on it and call your worker or call the agency and say, hey, I can't do this. And they'll talk to you. Like literally, we talk to people and we work with people on a regular basis. You can't pay it, we'll work with you. Come in and talk to us. Let's do a payment agreement. If you can't come in, okay, we'll send you the payment agreement in what we call the portal, which is basically an email with the system, or we'll mail it to you.
All the way up to the.
You look at it and you sign it if you agree with it. Like, we're not out here to take people through the ringer. We're not out here to do that. But we are out here to make sure that these kids get what they deserve. And they just, if you don't want to be there to support them emotionally, physically, and mentally, then it's
at least be there financially.
Right. You got to do something because the custodial parents have the child care. And let me tell you this, and this was my biggest thing before I even came to work for child support enforcement. If you claim that you're not working, here, you take this child care bill off of me. You're not doing nothing else. You can work. I mean, you can take the baby. Take the baby.
Take the kid. Yeah.
Right.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing.
Right. So if you can't help me that way, then help me this way. That's all I ask. Right. Take a little bit off of me. But again, I've been a single mother for 20 years because my oldest is 20, my youngest is 15. I'm 53. I'm old. Okay, I'm tired. But I'll tell you.
Okay, does that sound familiar?
I don't regret any of it. And I have been to the point where I didn't even know how I was going to feed my children. I didn't know how I was going to clothe my children. I didn't have gas in my car. But you know what? God provides for those who are out here trying.
I'm glad you came up and told us some of the insides and outs, because there are a lot of bad reports on what child support is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
And how.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it just, it's a lot of bad reports, especially from us as men. We'll spread the disinformation about child support. We will do that. So I know for a fact I condoned it for a long time.
There's a loophole. I want to talk to the child support lady. There's a loophole in the law.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
Okay, there's a loophole in the law. Let's say you and I make the same money and we on child support. You know, they want to say women don't send money in, but women pay. I was responsible for about 70% because it's a deduction. So when he sent me that $125 or that I didn't get, I was responsible for like 75% of the amount. So let's say he go and get another child and I have another child. His net income is reduced. They don't give women the net income reduction for child support, even though they're responsible for 70%, because women do pay. It's just not mailed in. And they'll do it. Sometimes, most of the time, the man got multiple children. So now if he was making $30,000 a year, I'm just picking a number, and his income is reduced by $5,000, he makes $25,000. Women don't get that when they get a second child and they have it and they go through child support. So there is a loophole in the law.
Well, okay, so I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
And the second part I wanted to say is that these men will go from office to office to office to get them license reinstated, and different states may be different. He didn't pay on now time. He gave them a sob story. I'm sure he probably smiled in some of their faces too. And he would get reduction. His license reinstated, even when they put a note in the computer. Do not allow him to come to another office. Send him back to the Palm Beach office, the West Palm Beach office.
Right.
On top of that, these men work until that first child support payment come out. You get 1.5 payments, because if he get his check that Friday, he still got some hours already in.
Right.
They quit. So saying they need their license is nothing.
Yep,
They don't. You don't need no license if you ain't working. I see plenty of women with KFC uniforms and on the bus going to work.
Yep.
So they don't need no license in that. But the law is actually anti-mother, and the state of Florida has been cooking the books. When they aren't collecting on your
Shanika,
they kick your case out the system, so it makes their collection rates appear higher. I could go right now and reorder it. I got it typed down somewhere where I called them and they were supposed to do something. They sent the thing to an old address of mine, even though I had talked to them on the phone, and dismissed my case from the system. They are cooking the books. If they don't get no collection, they find any excuse in the world to kick your case out. The Child Support Enforcement Agency is federally mandated one that every state have to have.
They don't arrest anybody. They don't
even, and they they take any little thing if they come and give them some pushback and go. They don't go. I didn't have it for my case with my daughter. My daughter, who I'm owed over 100,000. I stopped counting a couple years ago when I went back and it was 88. I don't know what it is now, but I don't have them enforcing that case because they would have never fought for that. But judges do not agree with child support. That's why it was so many who would owe back child support. They didn't really start collecting child support efficiently to the 90s when income deduction orders came in effect, and they could driver's license could cross state, eventually became able to cross state lines. So
you know who hit them hard with that child support in Florida? Janet Reno.
They don't do nothing no more. And the judges
Janet Reno gave them the business.
Judges go and decrease. They come in there, they tell them, "Mama, you just want child support." I got a judge transcripts right now, and you know this gonna sound stupid when I say it, saying he based the child support on gross income. Now you know that judge he recused himself from the case because I called him out on it, because the man, he refused to impute in-kind benefits to income because the dummy did not know when he put down he had a maid, a car, a housing, that was going to be imputed to income, and the judge refused to do it. But because I had a court reporter present in the hearing, my attorney told him that is not, the law shall and may mean a whole bunch. Shall mean you don't got no choice. It's not discretionary, and may it's discretionary. When it comes to Florida, imputed in-kind benefits to income is not discretionary. It says shall. He refused to do it. Both of them made comments about, I just wanted money. I didn't ask for nothing over what the law said I was allowed to. He still went through the back door, and that's when I went to him a year later and asked him to produce the calculation worksheet, and he recused himself. But on my transcripts, he got, I based it on gross income. You don't never base child support on gross income, and that's how they go around back to decrease it. Florida is very anti-child support.
Yeah, Florida's something else.
I went through that too in New York. Like, New York was it's horrible. I could honestly, I can't even tell you how many times I went back and forth to court. I had child support enforcement. They had pictures. They claimed they went out. They never got him. I was like, how? You can't miss this man. He's 6'4". It's not like he's some small man, like dipping in between like the bushes. This is a big dude. He's 6'4". You have a picture of him, and no arrest. No arrest. His girlfriend, who's been his girlfriend for the past 25, 26 years. I think since I was pregnant, and they still together. And I was like, ooh. I said, this is like girlfriend goals. Like, girlfriend goals. You gonna hold on to a motherfucker who can't marry you? You gonna hold on to him knowing he got all this child support that he's supposed to pay? You hold on to him. You are, and then you would stand in support of a man that doesn't take care of his kid.
Yes.
Because you're a pile of shit yourself.
Yes.
But and this is the thing. His child support was $253 a month. $253. And now it's well over 80,000 because my oldest son is 26, and so it's well past, like it's 80,000 plus at this point. He stopped paying when he was 3, which
and
is
he's
like,
what now? 26 now? He's 26 now. 26. I got a question for Catalina, right? Catalina doesn't have children.
Nope.
Catalina, you chomping at the bit listening to these wonderful stories from the ladies. You ready to have children now, right? You just chomping at the bit to get you a 70-year-old man and have babies, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be competing with a 40-pack of Blueies? I think the fuck not.
You know, come on, man. Damn, you can't be coming in hot, bro. I mean.
I'm not about to sit here and take orders from somebody whose high school graduation photo is carved under Mount Rushmore. I refuse.
Come on time. The Social Security check come on time.
I can't.
Come on time.
I just can't. Why did I even encourage her? Why did I just? I should have just left.
You should talk about some rotation. Your first phone rotated, and you want to talk about some? Keep her on the back row. This is your fault. You told me to reload. I was doing some practice rounds, and because you told me to reload, I went and got hollows.
You know,
you should have left me alone. But nah, I got the hollows because we could do this point looking like the goddamn mummy, and they're talking about but I can get somebody pregnant even at 79. Yeah, and that child is about to be very, very, very challenged in school. Because your shit starts to deteriorate like after 36. Okay,
this is
Benjamin Button's baby. It's gonna be a Benjamin Button baby.
I can't. This is my fault, Vaughn. Don't blame Catalina. Quick, we're gonna do this for the last 20 minutes. I'm gonna hit y'all with something real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, y'all gonna love this one. Let me move my glasses down. Hold on.
See, all these older lectured by somebody who's a child to me. I won't be lectured by somebody who belongs in a box. We can all play this game.
I want a good wife. Y'all, I need to find my first baby dad. He owe me about 65 for the 3 sons. I need to find him a good woman who got some benefits, who gonna put his name on her house. I got volunteers.
So you can get it. So I tell